Alright, welcome guys for another video. Today's video, we're going to go and we're going to do some more exploring of the monuments and the memorials around Bangkok. Right now, we're right in front of the city pillar. So this is like the center of Bangkok. So if somebody wants to come here, like let's say they're having some bad luck in their life or they're moving to Bangkok, they would come here to the city pillar or the city shrine, and they would make a blessing to get them good fortune. So like I said, we're going to go around, we're going to see some of the monuments and memorials in Bangkok, and I'm also going to check out a couple that are up in Ayutthaya, and there's a reason for that. But anyway, we'll do that, and let me show you around. So let's see what we see. So here is the city pillar of Bangkok, and it looks like a Angkor style temple. Now there's all kinds of stuff in this area. You're not too far from Wat Phra Pinklao. So Wat Phra Pinklao is over here. You have the National Theater, you have the Ministry of Defense. There is so much stuff in this area. So you can see here everybody is down. They're tying ribbons, they're making blessings. They have the little marker stones. So it's basically it's a shrine, so the Thais will come here and do their worshiping. So let's go inside this building and see what's in it. So here is the inside of this. Pretty nice building, and everybody's in here. Has the ivory tusks and the little pillar and everything, and then the roof is all decorated up along with the walls. So everybody's in here making some blessings. So this is the part of the shrine when you first come in. So they have a place to pray, like pretty much everything in Thailand. They got the Buddha with the Nagas and all of that. Pretty nice little building. The roof's nice, but the floor is just kind of an open floor plan. And then over here they got the drums, all the normal stuff. So this is the city pillar shrine, and supposedly it's guarded by 5 deities. So you can see them all right there. And so people come over here and they pray, they leave the little flower wreath and everything. Alright, so that's enough of this, and let's go out and let's explore. Okay, so here is the Rama 9 monument. And there's quite a bit of stuff here. It's right underneath the bridge that's named after him. And I can't really pronounce it correctly, but his Rama 9 is how we know him, but it's Bomipom or something like that. I know I mispronounced it, but that's the bridge that he built, and it was part of the King's project. This was his last major project while he was still alive. And as you can see, this is a spectacular bridge. It's one of the craziest bridges I've ever been across, because it has off-ramps off of the main suspension part, and it goes every which direction. And right underneath it, now this used to be like a jungle area with mangrove forests and all of that. And it was also an area where the mafia had a lot of power. And so the king wanted to put a stop to it. He said that the mafia had too much power and that only the king could stop them. So he came in here and he did a lot to restore this area and make it, better for everybody. So next to his monument, we have this little courtyard and building. And as you can see, there's the bridge. There's a big fountain behind it, but it's still being built. It's still under construction. So this building is supposed to be a museum, but it looks like it's locked up. So it might be under construction also. So something to keep in mind for later on. And then at the front of this monument, right as the entrance to the little park that they have built, they have some little piers, or some little pillars that have some of the quotes from the king. And Rama 9 was one of the most important kings in Thai history. He did a lot for the country, and he was also the world's longest reigning monarch up until his death. motorcycle right onto the ferry, and it's 13 baht. So 10 baht for the motorcycle. That includes one rider, and then 3 baht for a person. So less than 50 cents to take the ferry across the river. I wanted to do it just because that bridge is so chaotic. You can see the river. The Chao Phraya River is just so massive. And so after a short little, maybe 3 or 4 minute ride across the river, we're on the other side. Tie off, and then we'll just ride the motorcycle right off. Easy peasy. Alright, so here's the statue, or the monument, for King Ramkhamhaeng the Great. Now, he was a Sukhothai king, and he's the one that's credited for creating the Thai alphabet. And it's right here on the campus of Ramkhamhaeng University, which is pretty cool. They have the National Football Stadium right over here next to it. And it's near Ramkhamhaeng, where they're building one of the new BTS lines. And you can see they have like a pagoda here with a boat and stuff, and then right past it where those cranes are, they're building the new public transportation line. It's kind of a small little monument for him, considering this is the namesake. This university is named after him. But if you go to Sukhothai itself, they have a nice monument for him right in the middle of Sukhothai Historical Park. All right, so let's go. Okay, so right over here in Rangsit, next to the Air Force Base, is the Royal Thai Military War Heroes Monument. So it has the inscriptions of some of the heroes on the bottom. And that's it right here. It's right next to the Air Force Base. And I guess there's a museum in there also. I'll have to come over and check it out one day. So right here in front of the National Theater is a small little memorial to Somdet Phra Pinklao, and he was a second king. He was not the actual official king, but he shared many of the roles. So he was appointed as basically like a vice or like an assistant king. So his monument is right here, and it's not too far from like the Veterans of Foreign Wars Memorial and some of the stuff like the Grand Palace and all of that. Okay, so the GPS sent me to find this King Naresuan shrine, and this is it. But this is not it, obviously, so I'll have to search around some more for this. All right, so as you can see behind me, I don't know if you can see very well, but there's the big statue of King Naresuan the Great. So anyway, this is in front of the Thai Royal Army headquarters, and they let me go up there and walk around it, but I can't film inside of the compound because it's a secure government complex. But anyway, it's a pretty cool statue, but I can film it from this far away. So let's see. So this is the Royal Thai Armed Forces headquarters out here at Chengwatana. So it's a war elephant statue, and you can see he's right behind the head of the elephant, and then the general is right behind him, and then he has a guy behind that's hanging on a rope, and then 4 guys around him on the ground. It's a really nice statue, but it's one of those things that the army is kind of territorial, so they don't let you get up in there. But it's a little bit off the beaten path to come out here to Chengwatana. It's near immigration, but it's quite a bit different than the one in Ayutthaya. The one in Ayutthaya, quite a bit bigger monument. But anyway, this is it's nice. Just unfortunately, it's not really accessible to the public. Okay, so here is the King Naresuan the Great monument. Now, I've done most of the monuments inside of Bangkok. This one is in Ayutthaya, and he's really an important king for the Thais. And you can see they have all of these roosters and there's a story behind that. But anyway, this is a brilliant monument. It's made out of the white marble, and King Naresuan, as you can see him up there on a horse, he fought the Burmese. I think it's around Saraburi, but he engaged in personal combat with the Burmese king and killed him. And then he stopped the invasion. And I guess after the battle, he was really angry because his commanders were slow and didn't support his attack. So he didn't defeat the entire army. He just defeated the king. And he was angry because if this whole army would have followed, they could have defeated the entire Burmese invasion force. And what the Thais do is they come over here and they leave these little roosters, and they make a donation to the king. And they also have the swords, and you can get a sword and leave up here as a donation. But the roosters are for one of the crown princes. So when the Burmese were attacking the crown prince of Thailand and one of the princes of the Burmese, they met and they had a cockfight. So the chickens, they had a fight, and the Thai crown prince's rooster won, and so it made the Burmese prince lose face. And that's why the Thais leave all these little chickens everywhere. You can see they just have chickens every which direction. Big ones, little ones, and then people just leave them just all around the shrine or the monument. And then they have the reliefs of scenes all around. And this is around the base of the monument. So he's probably the most important king from the Ayutthaya era. I mean, King Utan was the first king, but he was probably the most famous for his prowess in battle and his importance to Thailand. But Ayutthaya was the capital for 417 years or so, and they had 33 kings. And he is one of the few kings that has the title bestowed on him, the Great. I think there are a total of 8 Thai kings that are the Great. You can see it sits on this marble base, and then right up there is the statue. Here's a little better perspective. Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so this is the second one that's in Ayutthaya. This is a memorial or a monument to King Naresuan. And as you can see, he's on an elephant, and the story goes is that he was fighting the Burmese, and his wife was worried about him and his sons, so she dressed up like a common soldier. And when the elephant went into battle against the Burmese king, there was a blade from one of the Burmese warriors that was getting ready to strike down the king, and his wife jumped in front of the blade and saved his life. And after the battle, he built a chetty in her honor where her ashes are buried. So this is not too far from the King Naresuan the Great's monument. Okay, so this is one of the field marshals. It was a general under King Rama VII. So anyway, they have a monument to him here, and he is supposedly the founder of the Thai post office. So they have a garden, and he's on a little island. It's quite a nice place. It's out here in Changwatana, but for whatever reason they have this that's closed off, even though there is not a soul in sight. But it's a pretty nice little park with flowers and stuff. And this is out in Changwatana. And here's some more of the garden that's around that field marshal's statue. This is just to the north. This is a well manicured, really a nice thing, but there's nobody out here. The hedges are all trimmed up. There's flowers, some birds. It's nice. Okay, so here's a monument to Rama VII. I've looked all over for this one. Now it's in front of the Office of Civil Service, and they wouldn't let me go inside of there again. I had to have some kind of special paper, but anyway, I'm filming it from the street. So he was the one that abdicated the throne that paved the way for Rama VIII taking over as the king. And this monument is out here in Nanaburi, and you can see here's the government building. And there's some nice parks and stuff around here. I've never been in this part of the city. And then they have quite a bit of waterway here. Okay, so here's our last statue. This is Phra Naresuan Mahahat or something like that. Anyway, I'll put its name up on the screen. It's a Hindu god riding the Arowan elephant. Pretty nice, just out here in this park with nobody around. So you can see the size of it. It is quite gigantic. It's nice. This was a fun little trip. I've been all over Bangkok. Took a ferry, had some issues trying to find this statue, and I don't know, it's been kind of crazy. So anyway, couldn't get into the Grand Palace because it's closed up right now, and that's where there's another Rama 9 statue. There's also one, I believe, out in the in Minbury at the new Rama 9 park, but it's they're small, and the one way out in Minbury looks really, really small. I don't know about the one at the Grand Palace, but the one that we saw underneath the bridge is really cool and definitely worth a look. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, make sure you click like and subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. If you want to leave me a comment, if there's some I missed, tell me down below. I mean, between part 1 and part 2, I think I've gotten pretty much all of them. I mean, I even got the ones up in Ayutthaya. So yeah, leave me a comment down below, and if there's one I missed, I'll try to incorporate it into a future video. So you can just tell me that down below. And if you want me to do something different, tell me that also, because this is fun. I got to explore lots of the city, and I haven't been to some of these places, and even took some wrong turns, like finding that little shrine way out of the middle of nowhere. So anyway, guys, remember, as always, life is a journey, so enjoy.